Well, she's yet to appear in my lobby screen, but with the release of Gina and obviously the previous update, I'm sure you guys are aware, and some of you have been lucky enough to actually see the new character appear in the lobby screen, but we already knew about this. We were, we got the heads up ahead of time. But Isla, Teach, call it what you will, the dark support. If she is not dark support, I am going to be heavily surprised. But basically, the teacher for both Charlotte and Harper will be the next character to release. And let me tell you, with the way that they've done, first things first, Gina, if my game wants to, right? Her personality has caught a lot of people's attention. Let's just say things are getting out of hand. Like, the amount of memes and things that I'm seeing, it is literally the battle of the personalities. Like, what on God's green earth is happening? Like, the developer saw about, all the complaints about, too many female characters being added into the game. And their response was, okay, bigger personalities it is then, there you go. And then, yeah, nah, this is, it's honestly wild. On some of the thing, yeah, boys, this ain't good. So looking at the timeline, as you guys can see, we already knew about this. So the timeline with how things are working, yeah, she is going to be releasing on the end of October. I believe it's going to be on the 31st of October. So pretty much, final update. It's going to be happening at the end of October, which will lead into November, but that's absolutely fine because from that point on, probably middle to near the end. No, yeah, I think it's going to be middle or near end of October. November, is when the half anniversary will begin with the release of Thomas. So final update before half anniversary. It's happening right at the end of October. And with all of that, at this very point, it has to be support for Dark. There's no other thing left. In terms of role coverage, the only thing that we need is Dark support. So of course Gina was that one character that we needed, so that way we can have our complete Fire Element team now. The only missing role type character for, the elements, it really is Dark. Because, I mean, as it stands right now, this is kind of what we're having to work with, right? Libra is kind of playing that DPS sub-support role. I mean, the support plays more on the damage side of things, but to have a supportive character such as, like, obviously Hansemi, Meilin, right? You guys get the healer support type character, of course. Dark is still yet to get that, and so that clearly falls in line with October just fully catering to just getting the support healers out the way, and then as it goes on for the half anniversary, and especially in December, of course, things are in line for the light to get a buff up, water to get a potential new strategy play, who knows, but clear buff up, of course. So that is the role that they're going to be taking. Now, I don't want to talk too much about Gina, because I am going to be doing the tier list tomorrow for the weapon and for Gina, of course. But one thing which I will say, because at the end of the day, we're all waiting for Thomas, right? We're all waiting for the half anniversary. I know for Gina, people are skipping her and saving for Thomas, which is absolutely fine. One thing which I have mentioned is that Gina will be in the custom draw banner when Thomas is released. So whilst you're going for Thomas during the greater banner, if you have custom draw tickets saved up, you can go for Gina, you can go for Harper and Charlotte because they'll be in there. You can go in for the Demon Daggers, of course, because, they're in there, of course. But if you want to maximize your chances of gaining characters and weapons for your account, so that way, by selecting the 4 raid up, whichever one you get will affect your account in a positive manner, then of course you can go about doing it that route. As of right now, for Gina, she is the perfect character for the Fire Element, which is heavily needed. But is there any means to go about getting her right now for completing specific content? No, not really. One thing which I will say is I think they'll probably push for Fire Element for this whatever dungeon they got going on with the boss roguelike, unless it's something similar to the guild boss where all elements are favorable, or maybe during one day or during certain days certain elements will be in favor. I don't know, but I'm sure in saying that they'll probably do some sort of Fire Element over here to give some sort of incentive, because as of right now, going for Gina, you don't really need to, because I mean right now we don't really need Fire Element for anything if you really think about it. Now that brings me back to my question on hand. How is this going to play out with the next character releasing, being the Teach, of course? It could very well be a skippable. I mean, I will say this: if they make her in the same way as how Gina has come across, to where she's more heavily, way more heavily favored to support her own element, whereas in an overall basis, if you compare to see every other support healer, of course, because Gina is more of a one-sided character in my eyes when it comes to fully commit to the fire element, of course. If it is done in that basis, then I feel like with Isla you can quite ease up on the pulls. Now again, I'm not too sure on what directions they're going to be taking this character. I mean, I'm hoping in terms of with what these girls are doing. Wait, no, Charlotte and Harper. I mean, I think she would possibly do some sort of ultimate boosting, I want to say, just because of how easy it is to get every ultimate on every rotation from Charlotte. So like, just looking at some of the key factors of both of these girls, I'm sure there'll be some sort of I mean, well, with Harper, I mean, what could Harper want? I'm not too sure. Maybe building damage over time with every hit with a hammer, something like that. I mean, well, then again, they do extended period of damage over time, so I mean, we could get some sort of attack building going on, who knows. But in terms of if they decide to go the support healer route to how they've built Gina, then I think it'll be I feel like getting the initial copy will be more than enough. Because I mean, Gina's initial kit is more than enough. I mean, if you want to cater to the dupe side of things, you can do so, but if you're really catering and wanting to save for Thomas, then I think that will be more favorable to then go down the route of, you know, using a custom draw banner and just building up Gina over time. I don't think there's any rush right now to actually fully cater to, because I feel like her initial kit is more than enough to get the Hulk going, get the fire damage increase there, and then obviously lead in with your main DPSs to do the job. But obviously you got to keep in mind Emma will also provide you with that damage increase, of course, so, and as well as the fire damage increase, so you know, you can kind of pile on from there. So I mean, if it is done in that similar manner, then I believe with Isla we could very well use that same logic, go for the initial copy, go for the initial kit, and just heavily prepare and cater for yeah, Thomas, the next light. Apparently he's going to be tank. I don't know what's happening there. It could be a sub DPS tank. It'll be interesting though, knowing how these two girls are working in terms of high damage, crits, etc., with all the build up that they can provide and how they kind of bounce off one another. Yeah, I feel like the damage output, because Charlotte is still decent, I feel like others are still outperforming her. So I feel like when Teach drops, there's going to be a huge boost for her. So I think it might be an investment type healer making its way in to provide us with that complete package for the Dark Element. That's the only thing I can truly think of on what she needs to do, is to help Charlotte out as a DPS character, being outshined. Plus she's the newest, right? So yeah, I thought, but that's just kind of like my personal take on things. But anyway, yeah, Battle of the Personalities. Jesus Christ.